The warning from the STRS, the galaxy was old, cold, and silent. For millions of years, the Galactic Council ruled almost every known star system. Thousands of alien races followed its laws without question. The Council believed itself eternal. Earth was different. Earth was young, loud, and full of noise. To the Council, it was a minor world, filled with weak creatures called humans, a species that fought wars among itself and had only recently reached the stars. Inside the great circular chamber of the Galactic Council, light from 1,000 suns reflected off crystal walls. Representatives of powerful empires floated, stood, or rested in energy fields. They had gathered for one simple reason: Earth had refused to obey. A tall, insect-like delegate spoke first, its voice sharp and cold. "Humans have violated trade space and military boundaries," it said. "They expand without permission." Another voice followed, deep and mechanical. "They must be corrected before they become a problem." The Council agreed quickly. It always did. A message was prepared. It was not a request, it was a threat. The transmission crossed space in seconds and reached Earth. It appeared on every screen, every satellite, every device. The image showed the Council chamber in full glory. Power, size, and authority were impossible to miss. The alien speaker looked down with clear arrogance. "People of Earth," it said, "you have one choice. Submit your fleets, accept our control, or face removal." On Earth, there was no panic. There were no riots. There was no emergency broadcast. In a quiet command room beneath the surface of the planet, human leaders watched the message in silence. Men and women in simple uniforms stood calmly. No one shouted. No one rushed. A young officer finally spoke. "So they finally noticed us." An older commander nodded slowly. "They were always going to." The Council waited for fear. They waited for pleading. They waited for surrender. Instead, Earth sent a reply. The signal was short and clear. There was no show of power, no threats. Only a single human stood on the screen. He did not wear armor or royal colors. He simply looked directly into the camera. Message received. The human said calmly, "We do not accept your authority." The Council chamber erupted in laughter. Some delegates mocked the human openly. Others shook with amusement. The insect delegate leaned forward. "You are making a fatal mistake," it said. "You do not understand who we are." The human nodded once. "We understand," he replied. "That is why we are warning you." The laughter stopped. "Do not threaten Earth again," the human continued. "This is your only notice." The transmission ended. Silence filled the Council chamber. Then anger followed. How dare a minor species speak like that? The Council voted within moments. Earth would be punished. A demonstration of force would remind the galaxy of order. War fleets were prepared, weapons charged, ancient engines awakened. Far away, deep within human space, something else stirred. Hidden systems powered up. Old machines that had never been used began to wake. Human observers watched alien fleets move on their screens. No fear showed on their faces, only focus. One commander allowed himself a small smile. "They should have stayed quiet," he said. Above Earth, the stars seemed to flicker, as if the universe itself was holding its breath. The Galactic Council believed it was about to teach humans a lesson. They did not realize they had just signed their own erasure. Humans were never WIAker. The Galactic Council believed the decision was final. Orders moved through ancient networks. Fleet commanders across the galaxy received the same command. Earth would be shown its place. To the Council, humans were loud and emotional creatures, a young species that fought itself more than any enemy. Their history files showed wars, mistakes, and chaos. The Council saw weakness, not survival. What the Council never understood was silence. Humans had learned long ago that the strongest weapons were hidden. Across human space, deep beneath planets, and inside dark orbits, systems came online. Lights turned from red to green. On Earth, the command centers stayed calm, screens filled with moving symbols and quiet data. No speeches were given. No fear was shown. Admiral Hayes stood with his hands behind his back. He watched alien fleets appear one by one on the map. "So they chose force," he said quietly. A technician nodded. "All Council fleets are moving at full power." Hayes looked around the room. "Activate Archive Defense, Level 1, he ordered, far beyond the reach of alien sensors. Ancient human stations woke fully. These were not ships meant for war. They were systems built to end wars before they began. Long before humans met alien life, they had imagined it. They had feared invasion, control, extinction. So they prepared, not for glory, but for survival. The first human explorers who reached the stars had seen something disturbing. Old battlefields, broken worlds, silent civilizations. The galaxy was not kind, and kindness could not be trusted. Because of that lesson, humanity chose a path of quiet strength. They expanded slowly, they hid their true reach, they let others underestimate them. Now, that choice was paying off. In the council chamber, confidence still ruled. Delegates watched reports with satisfaction. Human systems show no defensive movement. One said, "They are frozen." Another laughed, "They know resistance is pointless." But one observer noticed something strange. Background signals were changing. Star readings flickered in patterns that made no sense. Minor anomalies. A senior delegate dismissed. Human technology cannot affect galactic space. Back on Earth, Admiral Hayes received a quiet confirmation. Archive systems ready, a voice reported. He nodded. Then we wait. The alien fleets continued forward. Massive ships filled with weapons that had crushed dozens of worlds. Their commanders felt no doubt this would be easy. As the fleets crossed an invisible boundary, sensors began to lag. Data arrived seconds late, then minutes. "Adjust scanners," an alien captain ordered. The stars ahead seemed slightly wrong. Distances felt stretched. Signals echoed back, distorted. On Earth, a junior officer looked up. "Boundary crossed," she said. Hayes allowed another small smile. "Now they will start to notice." Across human space, something unseen wrapped itself around the incoming fleets. Not energy, not force, but control. The Council still believed humans were weak. They believed numbers and age decided power. They did not understand one simple truth. Humans never forgot a threat, and they never fought fair. As alien ships pushed forward, their screens filled with warning symbols. No weapons had fired yet. No explosions appeared. But fear had finally entered the fleets, and it was only the beginning. The Council makes a mistake inside the Galactic Council chamber. Confidence slowly began to crack. Reports arrived late. Data did not match expectations. Alien commanders spoke over each other in rising concern. One fleet leader appeared on the central display, his scales dull with stress. "Our sensors are failing," he reported. "Range calculations are unstable." The insect delegate clicked its mandibles in irritation. "Human tricks," it said. "Push forward." The council agreed once again. Force had always solved problems before. There was no reason to doubt it now. Across the void, the alien fleets accelerated. Engines burned brighter. Weapons armed to full charge. They did not know they were already trapped. In the human command center, silence ruled. Only soft voices and moving lights filled the room. Admiral Hayes watched the situation unfold with calm eyes. "Council fleets are increasing speed," an officer reported. Hayes nodded. "Let them," he said. Deep space bent in ways no alien science could explain. Human control systems adjusted reality itself. Distance lost meaning. Time slipped slightly out of alignment. Alien ships began to drift out of formation. Navigation systems argued with themselves. Commands arrived before they were sent. "Regain alignment," shouted an alien captain. "Lock to primary beacon." There was no beacon anymore. On the council floor, a metallic delegate finally spoke with unease. "We are losing contact with forward elements," it said. The insect delegate snapped back. "Impossible." But more signals dropped. Entire squadrons vanished from the tactical map. Not destroyed, not damaged, simply gone. "This is not human firepower," a council analyst whispered. "This is something else." Fear spread across the chamber like a disease. Delegates shifted, voices lowered. Then Earth sent another transmission. The same human appeared on screen. His expression had not changed. Still calm, still controlled. "You crossed our boundary," he said. "We asked you not to," the insect delegate hissed. "You dare speak while under judgment." The human tilted his head slightly. "You mistake what is happening," he replied. "You are not judging us." The transmission cut. At that moment, the first alien fleet truly understood danger. Their weapons refused to fire. Energy systems looped endlessly. Escape vectors pointed inward, not outward. "Emergency retreat," an alien commander ordered. Space did not allow it. Human systems tightened their grip, not with explosions, not with visible force, but with absolute control. Back on Earth, Admiral Hayes received confirmation. "Containment complete," a voice said. Hayes exhaled slowly. "They still have a choice," he said. In the council chamber, Panic replaced arrogance. Delegates demanded answers. How can humans do this? What are they? The oldest council member spoke at last, its voice shaking. We misjudged them. The insect delegate refused to accept it. No species rises this fast, it declared. Destroy them. That order sealed everything across human space. Higher systems unlocked. Limits that had never been tested were removed. Fails designed to protect the galaxy were ignored. The council had not attacked a planet. They had challenged a species built by fear, patience, and preparation. As more fleets vanished into silence, one truth became impossible to deny. This was no war. This was a correction. When human weapons SPOKI, the galaxy had seen many wars. Stars burned, planets cracked, fleets turned to dust. But what was happening now looked nothing like war. Alien commanders screamed orders into empty space. Their voices echoed back, broken and delayed. Control was slipping away. Inside the Galactic Council chamber, panic spread openly. Delegates no longer hid their fear. Screens showed impossible readings. Entire regions of space were going dark. These fleets are not destroyed, a science delegate said, shaking. They are being removed from reality. The words fell like ice across the chamber. How? Demanded the insect delegate. No weapon can do this. Far from the council, human systems finally moved to the next phase. Weapons long classified as theories activated. Not guns, not missiles, but laws rewritten by human design. Gravity folded inward around alien fleets, not crushing them, but locking them in perfect stillness. Ships froze like insects trapped in amber. Time followed. Seconds stretched into hours inside trapped vessels, while outside, only moments passed. Alien crews screamed, prayed, and begged, but no sound escaped, no signal left. On Earth, Admiral Hayes watched calmly. Engage voice protocol, he ordered. Across the trapped fleets, human messages appeared. Simple text, simple words. You were warned. In the council chamber, the oldest delegate lowered itself slowly. This is not conquest, it said softly. This is enforcement. The insect delegate backed away from the display. Its confidence shattered. They hid this, it whispered. They hid everything. Human technology did not burn worlds. It erased options. There was no battle to win, no enemy to fight. As more fleets vanished from normal space, council archives began to fail. Records disappeared. Historical backups corrupted. Data loss across council systems. A technician shouted, "They are inside our networks." Human reach extended beyond ships and space. They touched memory, authority, identity. The council realized too late that its power depended on fear and history, and both were being stripped away. Another transmission from Earth appeared. The same human stood alone. Behind him, stars bent unnaturally. "We do not seek your destruction," he said. "We seek balance." The council chamber erupted in desperate voices. "Stop. Negotiate. Name your terms." The human listened, then shook his head. "You had terms," he replied. "You chose threat." With a single command, human systems escalated. Council defense grids shut down. Ancient safeguards failed silently. Whole fleets vanished at once. No explosions, no debris, just absence. Across the galaxy, other species watched in terror. They saw the council fall without a fight. They understood the message clearly. Back on Earth, a junior officer asked quietly, "Is this too much?" Admiral Hayes did not look away from the screen. "No," he said. "This is restraint." The council had ruled through age and fear. Humans ruled through preparation and control. As the last visible council fleet disappeared, silence returned to space, a deeper silence than before, one filled with understanding. The galaxy had heard human weapons speak, and they spoke without mercy. Minutes before erasure, the Galactic Council was breaking apart, not from fire, not from explosions, but from fear and loss of control. Inside the great chamber, lights flickered, holograms failed. Ancient systems that had ruled the galaxy for ages went silent. Delegates shouted over one another. Some demanded surrender. Some called for retreat. Others simply froze in place, unable to accept reality. The oldest council member struggled to stand. Its voice was weak but clear. "We must speak to them," it said. "We must end this." A final transmission channel was opened. Power rerouted from failing systems. Hope compressed into seconds. The human image appeared once more. The same calm face, the same steady eyes, unmoved by chaos around him. No weapons were visible. No soldiers stood behind him. only quiet control. You are destroying galactic order, the insect delegate said desperately. You will replace us with chaos. The human shook his head slowly. No, he replied. You are chaos. Another delegate interrupted, its voice shaking. We withdraw all threats. We recognize Earth as sovereign. Name your price. For the first time, the human expression hardened slightly. There is no price, he said. You threatened our home. The chamber fell silent. Even the most powerful beings there felt small. We did not know, the oldest delegate said softly. We believed you were weak. The human nodded once. That was your final mistake. Behind the scenes, human systems reached full authority. Failsafes built to protect life across the galaxy were unlocked. Tools never meant to be used against a governing body came online. Council archives collapsed further. Records of victories vanished. Names of powerful races faded from memory systems. What is happening? A delegate cried. Our history is disappearing. On Earth, Admiral Hayes watched the countdown begin. Final window open, an officer reported. Hayes gave one last order. End the council. The human on screen spoke one final time. This ends now, he said. Space around the council station twisted. Not violently, not suddenly, but completely. The station did not explode. It did not break apart. It simply ceased to exist. One moment it was there, the next it was not. Across the galaxy, sensors screamed and then went quiet. A massive power signature blinked out of reality. The heart of galactic authority was gone. Silence followed, a silence deeper than fear. Other civilizations watched in shock. They had never imagined a galaxy without the council, never imagined anyone could remove it. On Earth, no celebration followed, no cheers filled the command room. Only quiet understanding. A junior officer whispered, "It is over." Admiral Hayes nodded slowly. "Yes," he said, "and it will not happen again." Far across the stars, surviving alien fleets reversed course. Weapons powered down. Transmissions stopped. The galaxy learned a new truth in those minutes. Power did not always announce itself. The quiet species, the patient ones, were the most dangerous. Humanity did not claim the galaxy. They did not demand obedience. They asked for one thing only, respect. And after watching the Galactic Council vanish, no one dared to deny them. The galaxy learns the truth. The galaxy did not celebrate the fall of the Galactic Council. It went silent. Trade lanes emptied. Military patrols returned home. Ancient empires locked their borders and waited. For the first time in recorded history, there was no central authority, no orders, no threats, no voice claiming ownership of the stars. Across thousands of worlds, one name spread quietly: Earth. Humans. Surviving council records were studied in secret. Fragments of data, broken logs, half-erased warnings, all pointed to the same truth. Humanity had not acted in anger. They had acted in response. On Earth, life continued as normal. Cities stayed bright. Children went to school. Ships launched and returned on schedule. There were no victory speeches, no monuments built, no flags planted in foreign systems. Human leaders met only once after the event. The discussion was short. The message was delivered. Admiral Hayes said, "That is enough." Human fleets returned to shadow. Systems powered down. Weapons that bent space and time were locked away again. Humanity did not expand its borders. They did not claim council space. They simply existed. But the galaxy had changed forever. Independent civilizations began sending messages to Earth. Not demands, not challenges, but greetings. Some asked for trade. Some asked for protection. Some only wanted to understand. Earth answered them all the same way, with respect, with clear boundaries. One small species broadcast a single question across open space. "Why did you spare us?" The human reply was simple: "Because he did not threaten our home." That message traveled far, and it was remembered. Years passed. New alliances formed naturally, not through fear, but through choice. The galaxy learned a new rule. Old empires ruled by age and force. Humans ruled by patience and preparation. Children on distant worlds grew up hearing stories, not of monsters, but of a quiet species that erased a council in minutes, then returned to silence. Scholars would later agree on one final truth. The Galactic Council did not fall because it was weak. It fell because it underestimated humanity. Humans were not the loud conquerors of legend. They were the watchers, the planners, the last answer to unchecked power. And across the stars, a warning echoed without sound: never threaten Earth. Never corner a patient species, never mistake silence for weakness, because when humanity finally speaks, the galaxy listens,